This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sean Preston.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today, we have another good neighbor on with us, and that is McIntosh of DigiMinds CRM. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Sean. I'm really glad to be here.
Happy to have you on board. Sometimes I don't get the pleasure of meeting somebody before they come on. Other times I know them. And we had a chance to meet at a Contractors Forum networking event. I had a chance to get to know one another. And then you got to go up on in front of everybody and talk a little bit about your business, to which then after I seem to have felt compelled because I'm pretty sure we use the same CRM system that you offer. And I am a big advocate of it. Big nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff as well, too. So I felt compelled to stand up and sell you. People thought that you were paying me money under the table.
That was pretty funny, actually. I had to chuckle when you stood up and said, "You guys, everybody here, you really need to look at this."
Yeah.
So,
Who is this guy?
Yeah, it's like, okay, Sean, let's go off to the side and I'll feed you a couple of bucks. No, yeah. but absolutely, that was the first time we met, so that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, wonderful. So super happy to have you on and let you tell your story. And I'm sure that our listeners at this juncture here are probably chomping at the bit. So let's dive into it. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about your business?
Sure. The business is called DigiMinds CRM, and it's a great platform for small businesses to really just dive into putting their systems, putting all of their contacts and all of their prospects and their clients and all that sort of stuff into a digital marketing system that is really a one-stop shop and easy to use and really, really highly effective. So that's really what it boils down to. And what I call that is the DigiMinds Sales Machine, because it really is a CRM in a box.
We come across a lot of small businesses, Jeff and I, and some people don't even know what a CRM is.
I'm not surprised, because acronyms are one of those things that we always use, and whatever industry that we're part of, it just becomes, oh, well, it's an XYZ or it's an ABD. And it's like, hold on a second, what the heck do you mean by that? And what it is CRM stands for Client Relationship Management. And really what it is a way for you to keep in touch with people and really keep track of the communications that you've got with them, so that you can market to them and sell to them, and then after the sale you can keep in touch and provide customer service, and you don't have a tendency to lose track. Because I know myself, whenever I'm dealing with people, I can't remember from day to day who I need to get in touch with. So this system actually helps with that.
Yeah, and for what I know about CRMs, when I started about a year and 5 months ago with Best Version Media, they said, well, yeah, you could kind of start doing it on an Excel spreadsheet. And, when you're starting something new and, finance is a little bit more tight, you want to try to, do things that don't really cost a lot of money. And it took me less than 2 weeks to realize I needed a CRM. Thankfully, I've had experience with it in my sales background to know. So I ended up getting one-page CRM. That not bad. You're able to set some tasks, some stuff, but at a surface level, like insanely simple. Whereas what you offer, a lot more robust in terms of remembering clients you want to reach out to, putting them through workflows, and sending out, automating certain things so that it gives you, the business owner, more time to do other things and then not have to think about all of that stuff on a day-to-day, because that takes a lot of time out of somebody's day-to-day.
Absolutely. And you just did my sales job for me. So yeah, that's pretty much what CRM in a nutshell is. And most people don't have had very minor experience with CRM. I've been using CRM since 1995. So I know I'm dating myself a little bit, but that's close to 30 years of CRM. And I've been through almost every single one of them, of the big boys and the small packages and little contact managers, and then going up into full robust systems that are thousands of dollars a month. And pretty much every single one of them lacks something, and you have to you have to add a plug-in here and a subscription there and all that sort of stuff. And one of the things that DigiMinds CRM does, other than just provide that simplified version of being able to get up and running really quickly, is that all of the features of any other CRM that you can imagine, whether that's, and a lot of people might or might not know these terms of workflow and pipelines and funnels and websites and calendars and all of those things, automations and AI and everything. It's a lot of stuff, but what it boils down to, it's all inside this one platform. And so it's not that I want to sell you the kitchen sink. In fact, I don't want people to try to even understand what it is that's available in the platform. I want to say, this is what you need today. And those are the main things that 90% of the businesses need. And like, I can talk about that a little bit, but what it boils down to is CRM is really the way to move forward, of getting away from spreadsheets, getting away from sticky notes, getting away from having a calendar on the wall and a whiteboard on the side. Well, there's a whiteboard, it's a little bit empty, and there's a reason for that, because I do everything digitally. And so, and I truly believe that you can operate your business digitally, and having CRM is a major component of that transition.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know me, I've vocalized it a couple times. I'll continue to vocalize that on the show today. I'm a big CRM fan, especially once I started to figure out how robust that they can be, what they can offer for what we were doing before and how we were running our business to what we're doing today. I just have way more time, and you can utilize that time however you want. So I get some of that time personally, but a lot of that stuff, we give that back to our clients, which is big for them as well too. So let's unpack this a little bit. So for business owners that are listening on the show today, let's kind of generalize it a little bit. But at this, because I want to be able to showcase, because I am in sales, so I'm
Of
going to help you
course.
with this one. So that people, doesn't matter what their business is, they can get an inclining and a bit of an understanding of how this would or could work for their business from a
Right.
broad stroke.
Okay, so let's look at it in terms of what businesses really need in terms of marketing and sales. And I use the term marketing and sales rather than sales and marketing, because marketing is first. Sales comes as a result of marketing. Closing the deal comes as a result of marketing and sales, not sales and marketing, because it's, like, you want to put the horse in front of the cart. So, having said that, the main things that every business needs is to, first of all, get their clients or get their prospects into the system in a very systematic way. And that's what I call the leads machine. So my overall product, my main product, is called the DigiMinds Sales Machine. The first section of it, the first solution within it, is the leads machine, where you generate leads, get them into the system, and then have an automated workflow that has automated text messages, automated emails, automated like, you can assign callers and all that sort of stuff to do nurturing long term. And when I say long term, I don't mean a couple of months, 5-10 emails, a bunch of SMSs, and then you go, okay, that's enough. No, that's not enough. You need to find a way to keep continuously contacting your prospects and your clients forever, really, until they tell you to go away. And then you don't even necessarily need believe them, but you want to be professional and respectful regardless of how you contact people. So you give them the opportunity to say, you know what, I've had enough, back off, Jack. And so really, you want to nurture them long term. Maybe you're going to get in touch with somebody on a daily basis for a week because you want them to understand a particular part of your offering, whether it's a service or a product. Then maybe back it off to once every week, and then maybe back it off to once every month, then back it off to once every 2 months. But you never lose track of them, and you put an automated system in place to be able to nurture that forever. And that's the lead generation. So after you've done that, you want to look at your own client database. So, a lot of companies that I know have databases of a couple hundred or a few hundred or a few thousand. The company that I was working with most recently had a database of 35,000 contacts that
Wow.
they were kind of not, they started re-engaging them. But like those contacts went dead because there wasn't a way to there wasn't a systematic approach to continuously contact them. And you're not contacting people to get in their face. You're just contacting them so that they remember who you are, because face it, people are always going to want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So you want to be that person that they know, like, and trust. So you don't bug them too much, but you don't forget about them. And so you create a cadence of contact where you stay top of mind, but you're not in their face. And that's what I call the win back machine. So you get the people that are already in your contact database, and you re-engage them through promotional campaigns, so a special or some sort of a promotion. And then once they're re-engaged, then you put them into the long-term nurture again. That's the what I call the win back machine. And then the third component to that is what I call the reply machine. And replies are really important. And we talked about that, like I presented that at the contractor forum,
Yeah.
and people typically said, like my question is, how long do you think that you have to contact somebody when they've sent you when they've called you, or they've sent you a message, or they've sent you an email? People would tip, how long did people say?
Yeah, they were all over 5. I ended up mentioning 4, and the answer is 5. No one's waiting. No one's waiting longer than that.
5 what? Five
Minutes.
5 minutes. But the answers were, oh, I usually get in touch with them the next day,
Yeah.
within 24 hours, within a couple of business days. If they're getting in touch with me on Friday, I'll get back to them on Monday. Well, they've lost them. You have at the very most 5 minutes to contact somebody. And think of it from your own perspective. When you call somebody that has a product or a service, how long are you waiting until you go to the next person in line?
That's the thing, right? You're not waiting very long.
You're not waiting. You're waiting 3 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
The amount of time that it takes you to hang up and dial another number. So that's the way that we handle that, is with the reply machine that has an automated system to contact the person back. If they send an SMS or a text message, the system can automatically reply to them and saying, hey, sorry, I missed your call, or missed your text message, but I really want to get back in touch with you. Is there something that I can help you with right now? And that can be an inquiry. The inquiry can be a phone call. It can be a direct message from social media. It could be an email. And like, whatever way somebody wants to contact you, you need to get back to them as soon as possible, or sooner. And with using automation and artificial intelligence, you can do that within 1 or 2 minutes at the most.
Yeah, even to the simple stuff that goes a long way with people.
Yep.
Like you can enter their birthday in
Yep.
the CRM system, and then it sends out just a little hey, we're thinking about you today, maybe even offering like a little 10% off of the service or the product, something like that, just to acknowledge
Yep.
your client retention. I was in client retention for 9 years in the
Yeah.
automotive
Well,
industry.
huge issue.
Yeah, and especially in that industry, but it counts for everything. If you're in business and you're coming across customers and you don't have a sophisticated system to keep in touch, like we brand businesses. So when you say top of mind awareness, like I just get super horny when you start talking about that. Like that is what I talk about that all day, every day. I'm passionate about it. It's a beautiful thing. That goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
With touching, being front of mind, being top of mind, at grooming your clients and just staying there, showing them that you care, and you can do it in a non-invasive way, but quick to respond. It shows your professionalism. It shows a
Yeah.
lot of different things, and it really saves a lot of time as a business owner. That's why you came into business, is to make money and get time back so you can have the financial freedom to be able to do what you want. This just goes hand in hand with that, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that you just touched on is the top of mind awareness. You think about this in terms of they've done studies, and they ask people why they chose a different business than the company that already has provided service to them, and they like them, and they appreciated the work that they did. Why did they go to somebody else?
Lack of, it's been a certain amount of time without hearing from them.
Because they feel as if they haven't been remembered, and they feel as if the company doesn't appreciate them. So it doesn't take much. It just takes a little bit. Imagine sending out a card, or sending out, just sending an email, or sending something that says, hey, just thinking of you, like, not even with a marketing message, just with, like, hey, just want to tell you that I appreciate your business.
Yeah,
And
even
that,
after the fact,
yeah,
right? Like you make
absolutely.
a sale, something goes out 2 days later, just saying, "Hey, thanks, we appreciate your business."
Yeah, and you can do the same thing 6 months later and a year later, and people actually appreciate that, because it means that you've remembered them, and if you remember them, they're going to remember you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I knew this was going to be more than 30 minutes, so we're going to just peruse through here to get me on a subject I'm super passionate about. What's your journey been like, Ian, in
Oh my
getting
gosh.
to doing what you said? You've been involved in the CRMs for a long time. Did you happen to just kind of come across this new piece of technology and dove right in, or what does that look like?
Well, my first career was as a musician. I was a tuba player, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I played in the Winnipeg Symphony. I played in a brass quintet that toured across the country, and I tried to get a permanent position in an orchestra, and didn't give up. I just didn't have the opportunity to get that long-term brass ring. And in 1995, I said, you know what, I have to go get a job, the 4-letter word job,
Yeah.
and so I did, and that was when I was living in Vancouver. And when I got this job, it turned out that I was actually really good at sales, and I was starting to learn marketing, and the first thing that they did was they put this CRM in front of me, and I was like, CRM? What's CRM? It's like, oh, this is a way for me to keep track of my communications, and so I started using it. No automation, nothing. This was way back, and they didn't even have database sharing and all this sort of stuff that they do now. And I looked at it, and they also had, I'll use another acronym, ERP. You probably know what an ERP is, Sean, but
I actually don't know what an ERP is.
enterprise resource platform. So that's the business management side of it. So that would be, like how you actually operate the business side of your digital systems. That was old school, using an old operating system. The customer information, I wanted it to go like this, and it just went like this. Couldn't put the two together, and I was like, why can't that happen? Why can't we just integrate the client information from one to the other? They said, we don't have the technology. I'm like, okay, well, somebody's got to be able to integrate it. And guess what? Now it does. But like there was a whole bunch of other things that went through the path of getting from there to here, which was, like I went from doing office furniture sales to doing home automation marketing with a local company in Barrie, and then I was there for 10 years, helped them grow significantly, and then I said, you know what, I'm passionate about marketing. And I was doing pure marketing then. I wasn't doing sales, and it was direct marketing, doing like I was actually doing telemarketing and doing what I call the turn right marketing campaign, which was go up to Muskoka and keep turning right until I get to the end of the road, and then go back and keep turning right until I get back to the first road that I started on. And I kept doing that around all the lakes, and met a whole bunch of builders, and that was 10 years. And then I said, you know what, I'm passionate about marketing, but it's not my passion, because I was an artist, right? So I went into photography, and I took photography very seriously, and I became as good as I could be in photography, and I did that for 10 years. But as it turned out, COVID just hit me like a ton of bricks, because I had a studio and I had 3 people come into my studio for headshots over a period of 3 years, and I couldn't afford to actually maintain the studio. So I went and did something else, and so that's when I went into sales of a government program called CDAP. I don't know if you've heard of that, but
No.
Canada Digital Adoption Program, and we concentrated on helping construction-based businesses. Then February this year, the program ended abruptly a year early, and I was like not doing anything, but I had already started looking at putting this CRM system together. So as you mentioned, it's a white, like it's my brand of this platform. And I started looking at it in February a year ago, and I went, okay, well, geez, I'm ready to launch it, so let's go. And in February this year, I went from being a sales guy, and I was actually pretty good at being a sales guy for this government program. And I went from that to saying, you know what, I'm gonna be the master of my own destiny, and take on this CRM and start selling it. And then you saw me a week after I actually launched the platform product, the DigiMinds Sales Machine. And now it's at the point where the product is ready, all of the onboarding is in place. I've got some great customer and client and referral opportunities that is going to take me from essentially launch through to a really strong bootstrap period. And I've got some pretty lofty goals, and the driving force to all this is that I know that this can help small and medium businesses.
Yeah, I mean, my marketing brain's already you're talking about all that what you're talking about. And I'm doing two. I'm listening, and then my brain's just hamster wheeling.
I get it, man. Like you and I need to have some seriously long conversations about what we're talking about here today.
Yeah, no, 100%. So for the listeners, we'll definitely I'll pump that in. So next question I have for you, when it comes to a CRM system like this, I think I know the answer. I'm curious to hear it from you, but like what kind of myths or like misconceptions do you have in your industry when it comes to CRMs that you get from customers?
Yeah, one of the things that I actually address by the name of my product is it's difficult. It's dark arts. It's part of the marketing sphere. Well, no, it's a machine. It's designed to work. It's designed to take somebody who's a business owner and just plug it in, and after a week or two, or maybe at the most a month, they're actually making sales with it. and that's what it's designed to do. And all the other CRM systems that I've used, it is dark arts, because you've got to take one thing from over here and then plug it into something over there, and then use something that's over there, and then sort of cobble it together. And I think of it like the analogy that I use is somebody buys a car, right?
Yeah.
The dealer shows up with a dump truck, takes the car and dumps all the parts into the driveway of the person at the person's house, and says, "Here are your keys. Have fun." How good is that?
Yeah, like,
right? Like you've got all these parts. It's like you get a Lego version of CRM, and you have to figure out how to put it together, or you have to hire somebody to help you put it together, and it's just a recipe for remorse. So what I do is I've got the whole system pre-built, and all you need to do is just plug in your information, and you're off and driving. It's like a dealer driving up with a car, handing you the keys, and then you go on a trip.
Yeah, and then from there it's minor customization.
Or great, huge customizations.
That as well too.
Right?
Yeah,
but like
once you do it once, it's done. Then it's there forever, which is great.
And one of the great things that I've put together is that I have a great team that helps with the onboarding, that helps with the fulfillment and planning and customization, that once you're in the system, you're actually making it work. Then we're going to look at how we can make it better. We're not going to try and make it better before you even start and charge you thousands of dollars. Like, there are ways to do that, and I actually explored that idea, but I decided that it was way more effective to find a simple solution that people could just go into and be able to really, spend a few hours and make it work.
So I'll ask you a question live as we go here. We're about halfway.
Oh man. Well, unfortunately, I've got another meeting in 4 minutes, so we're going to have to do those next questions.
Okay. We'll do like a 1.2 episode or something.
Yeah, I think so.
The next half. Wonderful. Well, look, I could talk about this all day. You got a fantastic product.
Thank you.
And starting to get to know you here. We'll add a second episode to be able to dive in a little bit more of that personal stuff. So thanks for coming on the show. I'm definitely looking forward to doing this down the line.
All right. Well, thanks, Sean. I really appreciate the time and the opportunity to tell everybody about the wonders of DigiMinds CRM.
Stay tuned.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com, or call 705-413-3775.